Oh my God, it's like totally the 6th Leog.
Are we really? We made it to 6?
We made it to 6.
Lucky 6. That's what they say, right?
Yeah, that's,
Hey, who's that?
that's what they say in your bizarre household.
Now, who's that?
In a special observation for all you Satanists out there who love the number 6 like I do, we brought back our first 2 guests. But guess what? Together, this is the biggest Leog of all time.
Nerd powers activate.
And
All
another
together,
guest.
we make one good episode.
So basically, we got a big sausage party going on here.
Yeah, exactly. Well, the girls didn't work all that well. So.
Plus, we're also going to have joining us in a little
But
bit
Bo has a nice
friend,
tuck.
our friend Grant, because these douchebags don't actually watch Lost, and Leon and I have to talk about it.
We've been putting it off for a long time, and now we got a guy who actually watches Lost.
Yes.
I
and
watched Lost, and so we will be battling Thunderdome.
Lost is the one with the island, right?
Oh, okay, never mind. I was
Yeah,
thinking of the.
it's not the one with the Jewish broad that fights Dracula.
I was thinking of the.
I love that.
I was thinking of the Amazing Race thing
Anita
from like. a couple
Scheinberg,
years ago.
Vampire Hunter. That's my favorite. That's my favorite syndicated cable show.
So in case you hadn't guessed, our first 2 guests again are Bo and Jason, who both have sites on Spill that you can go harass them
Indeed.
endlessly
Oh,
for.
God.
In fact, if you're not harassing them already, really, you should ask yourself why you're not.
Yes. I need more requests to join groups.
By
about
harass,
things I
he
don't know
means
about.
pictures of naked women.
Yes.
Sent.
Oh, come on. I'm sure, like,
I
in the
thought
last...
this was Adult Friend Finder.
In the last 20 minutes, I'm sure Lil Beast has posted 5 reviews that he's dying for you to see.
I
And
got
Ryan
like
Quarterman?
3 requests from him today. God bless your heart, you
Well,
beast.
I love Lil Beast.
I do too.
Have you seen his video?
No, I haven't, because I love how like everybody will send out an email message saying like, "Hey, I posted a new review. Come check it out." And I'm like, "Well, where's the link to it?" Because don't expect me to do the work.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. If you're not the Marvel versus DC guy, I don't really want to see action figures tell your story. That's just my final opinion
Yeah.
about this.
No, hold on. Did you see the last one with Batman and the Hulk?
Yes.
That one was funny.
No, that's what I'm saying.
That's what we're
is
saying. That's
he's
funny.
awesome.
Oh.
But
okay,
when
yeah.
other people use that technique to tell stories about their own boring, pathetic lives,
It doesn't work.
It's just not fun.
Don't steal somebody else's gig. That's Marvel versus DC guy. He does a great job. Leave it alone. Come up with something else. Use Barbie dolls. I don't care. But something else other than action figures. But he has a video that's a review of Meet the Spartans.
Does he really?
And he just put it up, and it's 10 minutes long, which is its fatal
Well, to be fair,
flaw.
you would,
Yeah,
you
10
would
minutes.
require that amount of time to explain how truly bad that movie is.
That's like
There's
the
not even-
Cremaster cycle for internet films.
There's not even that many funny jokes in Meet the Spartans.
There were jokes in Meet the Spartans.
There were probably more funny jokes about Meet the Spartans than there were in Meet the Spartans.
But the thing is, the guy's got personality. He's got, if he can learn to edit himself and get himself down to a couple minutes, then I was amused by him. So more power to you.
Uh-huh.
Here's the thing: if you're gonna do videos and you get inspired by another guy's, don't be too inspired. Like don't try to ape it
Yes.
to where everybody can't help but make comparisons.
Here's how you take, when you see something that works and you love it and you want to do something with it, you look at it, you figure out what works and what you can steal from it and get away with stealing from it, while not being clear that that's what you're doing is
Right.
stealing it.
And
You
for
need
any-
to turn it into something new.
And anybody out there who's saying like, well, what about you guys ripping off Mystery Science Theater 3000? Hey, fuck you.
And that's all we have to say.
Case closed.
Well, now moving on to more official topics. Leon, top 3 comics since the last time we did this. Let's talk about the top 3 you want to talk about specifically, because last time we went on for like an hour, and I just want to.
I apologize for that. Listen, I really want to like give it a big apology. It was the end of the show. I'd had about 6 Crown and Cokes, and we pulled out my comics, and I bought a shitload of comics that day.
And honestly, that was the director's cut. It was like another 45 minutes.
But the thing is, for me, you know what? Every month it's always going to be Ultimate Spider-Man and The Punisher. Those are the 2 books I know I can count on.
Garth
that
Ennis.
I'm going to enjoy. Exactly.
Garth Ennis.
Garth
going-
Ennis writes
going
a hell of a
going
Punisher.
away.
Just stop about that.
I'm not trying to rain on your parade. I'm just.
Is he really? Because I thought he had quit
no.
before.
No, he's done. There are only like a few more issues.
Well, it was,
I wanna say
you know
bye.
what?
Say,
You know what?
It ain't so, Joe.
I want to say by September that he'll be done.
Oh,
So,
well, okay, that gives me plenty of time. I mean,
If we got, like, 3
Preacher had to end eventually, and I cried when that ended, and
Sure.
so, you know. So it's always those 2, and it fluctuates on what that 3rd book is. Sometimes it's Captain America.
Is it this
It's
much?
actually been really good. It's more like Powers.
Still good with the new Captain Bucky guy?
The whole Bucky assuming the mantle of Captain America.
Right.
It's one of these things where, like, you know it's temporary. It's kind of like, okay, it's fun for now, but let's not let this drag on too long. And unfortunately, the writer is Ed Brubaker. As talented as a writer as Brubaker is, he has a real problem with knowing when to wrap it up.
Yeah.
So it's a good chance he'll drag this on longer than it should go.
Yeah,
So-
like the whole Vulcan X-Men thing that he dragged on and on and on.
Vulcan X-Men?
Yeah.
Vulcan, the third Summers brother thing.
Yeah,
Anyways,
he-
What? There's a
Was
third
it
Summers
Yeah,
brother?
he took over the
Yeah.
Shire Empire, and
He took over the Shire?
Yes,
This
he
is
took
the
over the
greatest
Shire.
comic book of all time.
Well,
Tell
it's
me
all
how.
kinds of crossover, and then
Then it turned out
and then he
he
makes
was
love
a
to Deanna
slayer.
Troy.
See, this is
On the
why
hood of-
Predator and the aliens came, and there was dragons, and everything blew up. It was cool.
It's just like shooting Womp Rats back home.
I tell you what, my third book is going to be the 12, the new book by
Sweet.
Straczynski.
Yeah, very good.
That picks up with the heroes from World War II that everybody forgot about. Not the invaders. These other little
The
lesser
also
heroes.
rans.
Yeah, the also rans.
And they're made up, I believe. Are they?
Yeah, they're totally new.
Are they?
Yeah,
Are they
yeah,
completely made
I
up?
believe so.
Because I bought an issue 0 that
That's what I
has
was
some of their
wondering.
old comics.
Yeah,
in
but
it.
I think they actually just recreated that in the style of like Timely Comics, which
Well-
was the predecessor to Marvel.
Well, let me tell you this. If that's what they did a damn good job. Because there's 3 different stories and 3 different styles that look exactly like those old, like, 1940s
Well, I
styles.
think that's a great thing to do, and I mean, I've seen like the
1963.
the Batman animated series. They have one episode in the last season where they actually
It looks like an old Hanna-Barbera.
Well,
cartoon.
but they do
It's in a
like
Dick Sprang
they do
style.
yeah they do
Really?
they do 3 different styles, and they actually do one. In the Frank Miller style that recreates like Batman's battle with the mutant leader
In the Dark
which
Knight.
in the Dark Knight, which is incredible. And
Oh,
then
wow.
they do one segment that is like the old Bill Finger illustrated Batman, which is also amazing.
No, I've seen these. He's right. They're really
Yeah,
cool.
they're
What
incredibly
what
cool.
season is that?
That's the
the-
4th season.
Yeah.
4th season.
Yeah,
okay.
last season.
You can find these on YouTube pretty easily, actually.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's true. Before I bought them on DVD, I would just download them from YouTube and save them.
But I was going to
Nice.
say about the 12, I agree with you absolutely. Of all the new stuff I've read in probably the last 6 months, that's the thing that most just smacked me in the face. Like, hey, pay attention to me. And, you know, it was because I actually listened to the entire Leog last week that I found out about it.
Who knows what wisdom lies at 1 hour and 57 minutes?
God knows I was asleep halfway through when he was reading them.
I was just going to say, 3D Man was like a 70s creation.
Yeah, 3D
'cause I
Man
remember
was
buying
a
that comic when
70s.
it first came out.
Yeah, it was a Marvel premiere, and I think I've still got it myself.
And for you know what, I loved 3D Man when he
I
came
did
out.
too.
Despite the fact that it didn't come with 3D glasses.
Actually, Leon, they actually have brought back 3D Man in a way. One of the issues of the Initiative, where
Really?
they had a graduation ceremony. Yeah, one of the characters is wearing the old 3D Man uniform.
I just read like one of the early issues, 3D Man, and I almost fell over laughing where he's like fighting these thugs, and he goes, "You see, I'm 3D Man. I have the power of 3 men." What?
Three whole men.
Right, and it's like,
Iron
okay,
Man.
you got the power of 3 men, but why do you have that worst costume in the history?
Right. Well, he makes people's eyes cross, and they can't hit him right.
Dude, remember? Wait a minute. Remember comic book hero costumes in the 70s, though. We're not exactly dealing with.
Okay, well,
and there was
that's-
Luke Cage in his yellow silk shirt.
And the tiara.
Hey, that was disco. That
Oh,
was
and remember, like the Legion of the Superheroes, they revamped and made all of their costumes sexy, and so they had Saturn
do.
Girl in a bikini, and then they had Cosmic Boy in this like leather unitard straight out
Oh.
of like Al Pacino and
And he
Cruising.
no.
changed it to Cosmic Daddy.
Yeah,
Cosmic Boy is great because he, for years, had that pink and black costume.
Yeah.
And somebody must have said, dude, pink on Cosmic Boy is gay. Take it off. So it was all
Because
bare
him
skin.
wearing a leather
which is
unitard
10
with
times
bare
more
skin
gay.
will be much less gay.
Yeah, it's like,
It's like-
oh, wow. So Studio 54
You know-
is making clothes now.
You know Rob Halford, lead singer of Judas Priest? You're looking a little too gay. Why don't you put on a lot of leather and spikes? That'll make you look masculine.
All right, pop quiz. Back to what if. What's everyone's favorite what if?
Oh, come on.
issue?
Conan comes to the future.
Oh, I didn't read that.
Yeah, I never
one.
saw that.
I can't believe this. It's like one of the. I'm gonna have to dig this. I have this.
That
the
sounds
original issue of
pretty
this.
badass, to
And
be
there's
quite honest.
two. They did an earlier one, and they did a second one years later. The second one's a
Okay.
really cool one, but he gets transported by I don't know one of his stupid ass villains to. Sorry, I was never a big Conan fan. To modern day, which
Oh.
then was I guess the 70s.
Wait.
Yeah.
What did you just say?
I'm not a big Conan fan, gentlemen. Not the movies that were great.
No.
See, I'm the opposite.
Wow,
because
you don't like the Marvel
I
comics?
I like the
again?
Marvel comics Conan so much that I didn't like the movies.
Okay, no,
Yeah.
I'm just saying I'm not.
I'm
a
real
big
close
Conan
to
fan.
bludgeoning your
No,
skull.
dude.
Right
You've
now.
already blasphemed. Don't try to
Did I
backpedal
say
now.
I don't
Yeah.
like Conan?
Yes,
That's
you
not
did.
what I said.
For all intents and purposes, yes.
Maybe try locating that misplaced Y chromosome. Okay.
Computer, the
Yes.
emergency.
Tell
we
me,
discussed
so
has
do you
happened.
slip into a
Plan
nice,
B.
comfortable, frilly dress when you read comics?
Right.
Yes, apparently you don't like masculine ones.
Guest code assassinate guests? Computer, electrify microphones.
Scientists have just discovered that a gay man's brain is closer to a female brain than it is a heterosexual male's brain. Get an MRI, dude.
Yeah.
Are you saying because I don't
saying.
love Conan, a guy who walks around in a pair of underwear most of the time, swinging a massive, oversized phallic device, I'm more?
Let me put it this way.
Doing
Do,
every
do I
woman
have to
that he
come out and
meets.
actually say it?
Yes.
I went last time. I had a little Conan marathon and read like all of the old Marvel ones from the '70s. I immediately went skeet shooting. I drank a whole bottle of whiskey and I ate an entire cow.
They actually are re-releasing the. I believe Dark Horse is re-releasing the
Yes.
Savage Sword of Conan's.
They did.
Yeah,
I just saw it at
and they're
Barnes &
doing
Noble.
it in editions like the Marvel Essentials. Which is really cool because the original ones, unlike most of the essential stuff, the original ones actually were in black and white, so
Right.
you don't lose anything with them. And yeah, when I read the first two volumes of those, I actually grew another penis. It was amazing.
awesome.
And I'm sure that
Like that
helps you
Chinese
get
kid.
laid more than your one.
It was one of the
No, but it made masturbating like sword fighting. It was great.
It was one of the first, mainstream comics to have naked breasts in them.
Yeah.
I hear you there. When they did the Savage Sword of Conan magazine,
Yeah.
then that was cool.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
No, I like the magazine.
But back to the topic, I agree with you. That's one of the best what ifs ever, and they actually did a follow up
All right.
to
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
So
That's
that
what
when
you
you
were
get to
saying,
the
yeah. 30,
70s,
yeah.
and what does he do? He gets a frilly hat and a Cadillac, purple Cadillac, and he becomes a pimp. Of
There
course
actually,
he
yeah,
does.
there is
No
one scene where he
way.
actually has a like a leopard on a leash.
Yes.
so awesome.
I don't think science has any sort of measurement to the coolness factor of this idea.
Why don't they make that Conan movie? Is what I want.
It's called Beastmaster 3: Portal Through Time.
This happened at Akoko, where they insinuated this was a question more for us than for them, and they're right.
What is that question?
The question is about the Avengers movie.
Oh,
Now-
the one that's never going to happen?
Yeah.
The one they're going to talk about it and get you all worked up
That's
for that's never
fantasy.
actually going to happen.
I love the way
no
he's
way.
deflecting his own mistake now.
I haven't made a mistake.
Oh, okay.
You tell me I made a mistake when they actually make it, but they
Okay.
won't.
That's true. He's got a point.
You know Conan liking Nancy Boy.
But anyway, assuming it does
Assuming-
happen,
right.
Okay,
Right.
How is it going to play out? I mean, what's the story going to be? Who, more importantly, who is the villain, the major villain? Of
King
this
the
gonna be?
Conqueror, of course.
It's gonna. You ask me, it's going to be all about them trying to capture the Hulk. That's how it's going to start.
As it should be, I think, really.
But I mean, we know that it's going to be Thor. We know it's going to be Ant-Man. We know it's going to
They
be Hulk.
could
Captain
probably.
America.
They could
Captain
probably.
America. We know it's gonna be Iron Man.
And one of the big mystery equations in this whole thing is Thor. What is the Thor movie going to be like? Because out of all of the superheroes they've chosen to put on their roster for movie making, Thor's the most difficult.
Well, I think it's going to be all set in Asgard, as I understand it.
Yeah.
In NASCAR?
Yes,
No.
he's just a lowly pit crew guy when he finds a hammer in the back seat,
And Will Ferrell's going to play him. And it'll be a comedy tour de force.
by the beard of Odin.
I'm thinking they'll just bring back what's his name, Vincent D'Onofrio from Adventures in Babysitting when he played Thor in that movie.
Oh, there you go.
If only Vincent D'Onofrio
But yeah, I mean,
wasn't
the
batshit
original,
insane.
the original Avengers comic, Avengers #1, is they're all tricked into going after the Hulk by Loki. Now, if you've been reading the Ultimates, they did a great storyline
Sure.
with Thor and Loki and that.
Yeah.
Now, if they could bring it about like that, and bring in the chasing the Hulk and bringing him down, or hell, just do the Ultimates period. I think they could really make it work. I mean, they're obviously what they're hitting at in the last two movies, Hulk and Iron Man, is that the main conflict is going to be getting them all together and forming them into a team. So there's a lot that they can do with that. What my main concern about the movie is it seems like, okay, Marvel is facing a really big problem, which is they hit it out of the park with Iron Man, and they might not hit it out of the park, but they at least got to third base with the Hulk. And 2 successes in a row on your first two outings isn't necessarily a good thing for a studio, because it makes them think that they know that they can do whatever the fuck they want, and they're already making mistakes. It already looks like they're trying to edge Favreau out of directing the second Iron Man, which is a huge mistake.
I've often said the worst thing that can happen to you is an early win, because it sets you up to think like
George Lucas.
With anybody, it makes you think, oh, I know what I'm doing, and you relax. And with Favreau, yeah, I mean, I think they know how it's going to work. I think he's just a little antsy about it, hearing release dates when he hasn't been talked to. But that's just sort of like a thing that happens with Hollywood and all the way all that goes down.
That is de rigueur these days.
Right. They still got the Punisher coming up, but there is like, okay, what's their next move going to be? Because, yeah, okay, you got 2 successes, but it's easy to trip on a 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th.
Get over it.
And they're going to have to recast everyone for Avengers because they're not going to be able to afford everyone.
Well, no, that's
Whoa,
not true at
whoa.
all.
Where'd you get that from? Oh, yeah, I wrote that.
Yeah, but that's not true.
Yeah, that's
at all.
ridiculous.
That's totally preposterous. There's tons of movies with giant casts out there.
Have you seen the new Coen Brothers trailer? Come on, dude.
No, it's
it's
not-
like
it's
Malkovich, John Clooney, Brad Pitt.
You think
I mean,
about the
come
fact
on.
that all
Oh, really?
these people-
And what was the effects budget on that?
Right.
Yeah,
Not as bad as it used
I
to
agree.
be,
You
either.
got a point there, but like I said,
It's often been brought up. Ocean's 11.
Ocean's 11.
Ocean's 11
They did
is
that
where
for
you have
pennies.
a bunch of guys who are friends with the director, who are all willing to work. Hey, we know we can get it cheap on the front end because we'll make it on the back end.
Hey,
Right.
dude. They all know what they were doing before they signed for these movies. They were
right,
part
and
of
and
the
Ocean's
deal.
11
the
doesn't
offering
cost
of
a lot.
the offering of points is something that Marvel is still at the stage where they would probably be willing to do to assemble the cast.
Not to mention the fact that the success of an Avengers movie means the continued success of their own
Of every
personal
other
films
franchise.
and more Avengers films, and being able to say yes.
But
don't
they
see-
never think that
work.
smartly. There's never one guy running things who can think that smartly about it. There's several hands. There's a bank involved. There's always a short-sighted bank involved. The more a movie costs, the more hands you have in it that aren't creative, who want results, who fuck things up.
Yeah, like some
Not maybe. That's the way it
Yeah,
is.
like
but
some
that's not the
investors
way-
from Dubai are going to say, "Well, I really think that my cousin should be." having this."
Exactly.
That's not the way it always
Exactly.
is. You're supposing things that you don't know that are going to happen that way.
Yeah, I know, but you're dealing with a movie that is going to do what essentially has never really been done before, which is to bring together 4 to 5 successful, and if Captain America and Thor are successful, 4 or 5 successful franchises. I think that it's within the realm of possibility.
It's the same reason that Justice League fell apart. Really,
No, it's
No,
not.
I
Justice
don't
League
think
was
so
a
at all.
completely different type
Yeah.
of planning and
they
project.
were going to have. They were even talking about leaving out Superman and Batman because they didn't think they could get Brandon
But
Routh
there's
and
no
Christian Bale.
comparison to what they're doing here. You don't understand. When they made all these movies, when they made Iron Man, when they made the
Besides,
Hulk,
Superman and
while
Batman
they're making
weren't in the
Thor,
original Justice
while they're
League.
making Captain America, it's all part of the plan. It's in these guys' contracts already to do this.
Remove your wishful thinking and then look at it again.
I really-
Okay, listen.
yeah.
No, you're thinking pessimistically. It's
No,
nothing to do with
no.
wishful thinking.
I'm removing my wishful thinking. I'm removing what I want to have happen, how I want the scenario to be. I'm looking at it for how it possibly is. Iron Man is a non-proven character from a studio that's trying. So they're where Fox was when it started, where it's like, hey, we're the new network. We'll try different shit. Well, something might stick, and if it doesn't, it can roll off our backs. And so that's what Iron Man was. It was an unproven thing. They weren't sure how popular Iron Man was, but like, hey, let Favreau take it, and hopefully he'll do it right. And if he doesn't, we'll keep going. And the Hulk. Well, wow, we really blew it the first time, so give him a chance. So now that these things have proven themselves to be cash cows, now the money guys come in and they're very protective of these properties now. They're properties now. And they're like, we don't want this fucked up in any way.
And I don't see
Yeah,
Ed
but the
Norton, I don't
money
see Ed
guys
Norton
that we're
coming back to the
talking
Hulk.
about here work directly for Marvel.
I would bring up The Matrix again. How the first
Yeah,
Matrix
but
happened
the
because
Matrix was not an in-house production of a comic book company-driven studio. But you're also you're thinking that
We need a rave
you're thinking
underground.
that, oh my God, they'll never be able to afford all this talent. Downey Jr. is not A-list. He hasn't been A-list for a while. Neither
Iron
is
Man's
Ed Norton.
what drove
They're
him.
He is
great.
now. He is
no,
now.
well,
Thanks to Iron
he
Man.
is thanks to Iron Man. Norton isn't either. I mean, he hasn't had a hit in a while, and even though they're both reputed to be very difficult to work with because they offer a lot of creative input, and that's why those two movies were so great.
Sure.
If you allow them the same level of creative input, you're probably still going to have a possibility at least.
In the event that
But
either one of them come
setting
back, I
setting
am
it in
available.
stone and saying there's no possible way this could work out. That's a puff of smoke. Of
I
course,
agree.
there's a way to make this
Your
work.
theory about why this won't work is just as much. You're saying I'm crazy and being overly optimistic.
There's
can
no
see the
absolute
total balance
involved
of saying you're being unbelievably pessimistic. I mean, I think the balance is between it. It could go either way at this point.
Well, then let me clear that up because I never say, even though I may speak in absolutes, I don't believe in absolutes.
Leon hates God.
An Avengers movie will not be made. It won't.
You're right. Hey, even like the smartest quantum physicists would come in and say like, hey, sure, there's a possibility there'll be an
Contract
Avengers movie.
difficulties surely ensure its failure.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying you're going all the way to the opposite extreme of pessimism about
You know,
the system.
Leon says there won't be an Avengers movie because there is no God.
It does seem logical to connect the two on some level. It's true. I mean, because if there was a God,
That's what I interpreted.
of course, if there was a God, there would be an Avengers movie already, and it would rock.
Okay, look, listen, you guys. Here's the thing, because I wanted to put an addendum on this because I knew people were going to argue, and I just never got around to it. There may well be an Avengers movie. It just won't be the Avengers movie that you guys are imagining now.
There you go.
Just
There you go, folks.
No.
Leon has admitted that there will be an Avengers
Yeah,
movie.
we win.
You heard it here first.
And this Avengers movie that you will see,
And it'll suck because you're both a bunch of dicks.
It's going to be like that Justice League TV series.
no. I wouldn't
Not
even go
the
that
animated
far.
one.
It will be like Clone Wars. That's what it's going to be like.
See, that's just nasty, dude.
I'm telling you,
that is getting rough.
it's going to be
But
one of those
you-
things where, like, sure,
Like
we'll
CG
bring these
Clone
characters
Wars?
together, but they'll all be CG.
No,
I'm
you're
okay
full
with
of shit.
that.
Well, believe it or not, we are going to move off comic books and go into animated series about comics.
Yes!
We're going to talk about the best cartoon on television, The Venture Brothers.
As
which
long
is-
as-
Oh, yes.
Which is now in its third season.
On its third episode.
On its third episode.
Third episode was this last Sunday, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Now,
Haven't seen it yet.
We're gonna give. Actually, Jason, you haven't as much chance to talk during this one, so we're gonna give you a chance to sort of a little introduction to the Venture Brothers because most people have never heard of this.
Yeah,
show.
that's a damn shame. It has. It is. It's very much got the Johnny Quest vibe, and loser super scientist trying to live up to the legacy of his father, and he's got arch villains, and there's a lot of meta humor and very. It's very surreal.
Yeah, it really
Where are the
it
jokes?
started out as like, hey, let's do it. Let's kind of poke fun at Johnny Quest in much the same way that Harvey Birdman was poking fun at the old Hanna-Barbera cartoons. And they just kind of got this ball rolling of making fun of fandoms in general. And you get all kinds of, like, they send up the Fantastic Four.
Which was brilliant.
Yeah, they
Scooby-Doo.
the super villain superhero dichotomy and
G.I. Joe.
just really treating it as like people in a job. So like the supervillains belong to a union, the Guild of Calamitous Intent. It's really hilarious.
It's a lot of the writers from the old Tick cartoon, if you're
Right.
a fan of that, and they have really brought their A game, and they're like, oh, we're on cable now. Look what we can do.
They're above A game, if you ask me. Like the first.
I think it's the best written cartoon on Adult Swim.
It
bar
is.
none.
Oh, bar none. Yeah, the
Best
first
written
season was
cartoon,
all about
period.
parodying Johnny Quest until like you find out like, wow, this happens in the same universe as Johnny Quest when the characters from Johnny Quest
Johnny
show
Quest
up.
are in it.
Yeah,
You owe it to yourself to watch this.
Yeah, first
And
season just-
Johnny Quest is a heroin addict in the series, by the way.
First season, a hilarious send up. second season gets very self-referential, and it evolves into something.
And
something
now
kind of new.
they're
and
really
now there's a new evolution to it.
They're really exploring their own universe.
Yeah, I mean, but it's almost like they're doing this season, this new third season. It's only been 3 episodes, but it's almost like they're doing it like, look, like they said, like, we don't know if we'll get a 4th season, but for right now, let's just make some important cartoons. Some cartoons that people are going to remember that's going to stick with them.
It's
Now,
the
almost
fill
kinda
in the
haunting.
blank season so
Yeah, they're
far.
really
this is
tying
Venture
up.
Brothers : Origins.
Right.
You know, where it's like going back and showing all these stories, these characters, these little questions they've left. You know, where the hell would this
It's
guy
like
even get
reading
this
an Alan Moore comic book where you finally get to the last chapter and they're like, oh, now I get it. They're finally explaining
You're
all the
absolutely
stuff.
right. Yeah.
But you're so right, and how it's like Alan Moore, where it's like, wow, these are really deep.
They all
Yeah,
have,
you're actually like, oh, I was just kind of ha ha ha. They're funny and oh god.
they all
that's
have
actually
Captain
kinda
Cave.
serious.
They all have Captain Caveman beards like Alan Moore too. So
Right.
you should be ready for that.
Well, it's funny because these guys, they're like our age in their 30s, you know,
Actually, the
and their
guy-
40s, whatever.
They all have cool names
But
too.
they all dress like punk rockers. They're like all full of tats and
Well, the
pink,
guy who
pink
does
hair, and
the-
it's like, guys, you're a little old for this. But then you watch what they do, you're like, hey, I'm not going to say
The
nothing.
guy who does the music, which is incredible. It's one of my
Oh,
favorite
yeah.
theme song. It's actually my phone tone. Like if you call me, it starts playing the Venture Brothers theme.
Oh, you son of a bitch! You got to tell me how to get that.
Yeah, but it's the guy who writes all the music for the show is J.G. Thirlwell, who
Yes.
most people might know by
Fetus.
as his name, Fetus. Yeah, and he's this amazing musician. If you've never heard of Fetus, just like Google it, go into Wikipedia.
Every
look it
album
up.
is like it's a different use of the word fetus. Like scraping fetus off the wheel
Right.
is one of the best runs. And I know. it's
Wow,
disgusting.
well, you sold
But
me.
but the albums are amazing.
Yeah,
He's
he's-
one of the
yeah.
forefathers of like modern electronic, like industrial and electronic music. Is
this
He's
like
really
Nintendo,
amazing. He's
like
worked with Nine Inch
Twitch
Nails
crap?
and people like that. You know, no, it's not like Nintendo. He did not do the Super Mario Brothers thing.
No, that'd be okay if he did. Actually, that's kudos.
No, he's
but-
part of the. Have you ever heard of Genesis Peorage or Psychic TV? Or
I've heard of
any that
Genesis.
stuff?
Phil Collins.
She seems to have an.
Yes.
I'm done. No, I'm
What are
not
you
going
like?
for it.
What are you like?
Jason's
50?
first punk rock album was "No Jacket Required" by Phil.
First album I ever bought, I think. No, his first concert anyway. White Snake.
Oh wow! I'm
That's
sorry,
right.
I didn't know you were that hard.
Oh yeah. That's how